Good morning. I'm Brynn Plummer, Vice President of Equity, Inclusion, and Community Relations at the Nashville Entrepreneur Center. We're here today to share exciting news about an important program. Twende, our year-long program for Black and Latinx tech and tech-enabled business owners, is growing to include entrepreneurs across the state of Tennessee. Twende is Kiswahili for Let's Go, and this is the spirit behind the effort to serve entrepreneurs of color in all industries across the state of Tennessee looking to significantly grow their businesses. This program is about leveling the playing field for all entrepreneurs by giving access to world-class curriculum, a supportive community, increased connectivity, and individualized mentorship. We know that entrepreneurship drives economic success for minority communities. With 114,000 minority-owned businesses across Tennessee, we have an opportunity to help increase entrepreneurship and economic success for founders of color, which in turn increases the economic prosperity of all and reduces the racial wealth gap by as much as 80%. Why Black and Latinx founders? The median net worth for Black business owners is 12 times higher than that of non-business owning Black Americans. And with Tennessee's Latin population growing more than 20% over the past decade, there is more potential for this group to become a powerful entrepreneurial force across the state. The rate of entrepreneurship is 6.75% for Black and Hispanic Tennesseans and 11% for non-minority Tennesseans. Closing that gap would yield new job growth, reduce unemployment, and add millions of dollars to our economy. Increasing the revenue of minority-owned firms by at least 25% would net some $672 million to add to the total state business revenue. Why Twende? Since its inception in 2019, the program has served 32 entrepreneurs with a 100% business survival rate. Because companies that participate in the program, on average, have a 140% year-to-year revenue growth. 55% of Twende companies outperformed their pre-pandemic projections. And thanks also to our leadership, we're now able to bring these services to founders of color across the state. I would now like to bring up Jane Allen, the CEO of the Nashville Entrepreneur Center, to share a bit about the origin story of Twende. Jane.
Thank you, Brynn. As Brynn said, my name is Jane Allen. I'm an entrepreneur, but I also lead the Nashville Entrepreneur Center. The Nashville Entrepreneur Center is a nonprofit organization that was founded in Nashville a little over 11 years ago, out of the Chamber of Commerce, when people decided that we needed a front door for entrepreneurship. We needed a place where entrepreneurs could gather, could get access to resources, and access to people to help them increase the probability of success for the Nashville entrepreneur. As we sit here today, I am blessed to work with amazing people who are driven by this mission and who work tirelessly to help entrepreneurs in our community overcome obstacles to increase their probability of success. One person that I have the pleasure of working with is Brynn, whom you've just heard from. Brynn approached me soon after I arrived, almost 2 years ago, and talked to me about this new program called Twende. And it was championed by a local entrepreneur named Shawnee Dow, who, as many of you may know, is the first Black female entrepreneur in the state of Tennessee to receive over $1 million in VC funding, as well as Bill McCleskey, another really well-known local entrepreneur in our community. And she talked to me about this program and why it was important. I'm not going to lie, I had questions. I really wondered, is it needed? Have you done a gap analysis? To which Brynn assured me yes, and showed me all of the data, because one thing that you will learn is Brynn is very deep in research. She doesn't just jump in. And then at the same time, it was, well, what's the ROI for the entrepreneurs? They're going to give a year to go through this program. What are they hoping to achieve? So they had their goals. And as Brynn just told you, not only did they meet the goals during a pandemic, they overcame the goals that they had set, even in a pandemic. And 100% survival during a pandemic is even more amazing and impressive. We were very honored to be invited to share information about the Twende program with Governor Lee. And Brynn and I were even more excited when Governor Lee said, the program sounds great, the data is really impressive, but I want to talk to the founders. And he did. And in doing so, he listened about why this program was important and the impact that it had on them and their businesses. And with that, we were so honored that he saw fit to promote the expansion of Twende throughout the state of Tennessee. Tennessee is unique. We have sister organizations like the EC in various parts of this state. And in doing so, Launch Tennessee supports those organizations, including us, and helps us create connectivity. And this established network is instrumental in our ability to expand Twende statewide. And so I do want to express appreciation to the state for the foresight, for being able to recognize and having the infrastructure in place so that we have wonderful partners that we will work with and already do work with across the state of Tennessee. One of the main goals of Twende is to expand the network of entrepreneurs so that they are able to expand their peer-to-peer network with people throughout the state, as well as to mentors and advisors, and to let them also know about various programs throughout our great state and country that can help them on their entrepreneurial journey. Partners that we already have in place, such as Google for Startups and Dell for Entrepreneurs, Verizon, and others, that partner to enable them to be able to expand. And because of the partnerships, Twende can easily scale to maintain a statewide network of Black and Latinx founders, making Tennessee the first state to create such an initiative. We are grateful. And we are so appreciative that Commissioner Rolfe, the head of Economic Community Development, is here to speak with you today. Commissioner.
Jane Allen, thank you very much, and thank you for everything you guys do here at the Entrepreneur Center here in Nashville. And Brynn, thank you for everything you're doing. As mentioned, my name is Bobby Rolfe, and I have the great privilege of serving as our Department of Economic and Community Development. So on behalf of Governor Bill Lee, who sends his best, we are so grateful to be invited and included this morning in this conversation. Our job at the state of Tennessee is to create jobs for Tennesseans, not only just normal jobs, but great paying jobs. We're also responsible for a partnership with our colleagues at Launch Tennessee under Abby Trotter's great leadership. Abby, thank you for everything you're doing and your team is doing, because that's our attempt as a state to create the most business-friendly startup for entrepreneurs in any state. And we're trying to do that every day, and we do that through a great partnership. When you look at our small businesses across our state, what's important to note is we define small businesses as companies of less than 500 employees. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's about 165,000 companies. And the great news is when you look at the employment of those small businesses, over 80% of Tennesseans in the private workforce work for that size company. And when you distill down the numbers to 100 jobs or less, it's about 162,000 companies across Tennessee, and then more importantly, about 50% of the private sector jobs are employed through those companies. And then lastly, but certainly not least, when you think of our minority companies across our state. Brynn mentioned about 100,000+ minority-owned companies. So we're very excited to be here, to be supportive, to bring the governor's best wishes and make sure that this is going to be a very successful initiative. I want to thank my friend Lamont Price at ECD for helping us with this program, bridging with Launch Tennessee and that partnership, and then ultimately the partnership with Jane and the Entrepreneur Center. So we look forward to great success and great things from these organizations and these partners, and we'll continue to be very supportive of everything you guys are doing. So many thanks from ECD. Cheers.
Thank you, Commissioner Rolfe.
Good morning, everyone. I am Ashley Currie, and I had the pleasure of being one of the first selected participants in the inaugural Twende cohort with my business Urbanite, a city guide here in Nashville, helping to share the soul and culture of the city. So this is truly an true life-changing moment, because now I'm representing Launch Tennessee as their marketing and communications director. And for me, I truly understand what it feels like to be an entrepreneur and to understand what those struggles may look like. And so with Twende, they really provided an opportunity to really provide connection, community, and a real opportunity for resources in order for my business and other businesses like me to grow. So with that, I am truly excited to be a part of the statewide expansion and Launch Tennessee's efforts to, as Commissioner Rolfe mentioned, help make Tennessee the most startup-friendly state in the nation. We are committed to helping the Nashville Entrepreneur Center and to take Twende statewide and help truly fuel the growth of Black and brown founders here in Tennessee, along with our partners across the region that are other entrepreneur centers that are also helping in these efforts and are joining us today either here in person or streaming online. I truly want to give a congratulations to Brynn, to Jane, to all of the NEC team for all of the work that they are doing, and also recognize some of our Entrepreneur Center partners that are here and or streaming with us online. We have Jim Biggs with the Knoxville Entrepreneur Center, Lindsay Cox with CoLab in Chattanooga, Lisa Garner at the Co in Jackson, Heath Gwynn at Sync Space in Tri-Cities, Jessica Tavo at Epicenter in Memphis, and Jeff Brown at the Biz Foundry in Cookeville. Lastly, I also want to thank the Launch Tennessee board members, our staff who are also with us today, including Tom Ballard at PYA, and of course our CEO and fearless leader, Abby Trotter. And again, we would also like to thank Commissioner Rolfe, Governor Lee, and the Tennessee General Assembly for their strong support of Launch Tennessee, our Entrepreneur Center partners, and our larger ecosystem that truly helps entrepreneurs across the state of Tennessee. We truly can't wait to see all of the impact that this Twende program will make now throughout the state. And with this amazing woman that I'm going to bring back up, Brynn Plummer, we know it is going to be an absolute success. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashley. Building on Ashley's remarks, we thought it was only fitting that we use this opportunity to share a bit more of the experiences of our founders. So if you'll direct your eyes to the screen, we have a video where you can hear from 3 of the founders who are part of Twende's programming. Twende began as a conference in April of 2019 that really just brought together a bunch of people who cared about capital access and entrepreneurship in minority communities, and there was just such a demand. So we decided to turn it into a full-fledged year-long program that could bring those ideas to life. Everything kind of goes back to small and startup businesses. And because of that, it's a really big part of our city and state's destiny to make sure that we're supporting entrepreneurs who are coming in and taking that big step and saying, I want to start my own thing. There are so many Black and Latino Tennesseans who want to start a business. In fact, the percentage of people who want to start a business among those groups is higher than their non-Black or non-Latino peers. But it's just so hard to get your hands on the capital, the coaching, the curriculum, and a dedicated and structured way to really sustain your business idea. And that's why we started Twende. We wanted something that addressed all those components of coaching, curriculum, community, and capital.
My name is Joseph Cole. I'm the founder of Culture, Architecture, and Design, a full-service architecture and interior design firm.
I'm Excel Gonzalez. I am a photographer. I specialize in children photography and event coverage.
My name is Natasha Marshall, and my business is Nurturers of Nashville, and I provide quality childcare at the convenience of your home, hotel, or Airbnb, as well as event childcare, such as weddings.
Entrepreneurship is very rewarding, but entrepreneurship can really be lonely. Twende has given me a community of other Black and brown founders to really, bounce ideas off of, create a sense of community, ask for advice, get their insights. They've even pointed out maybe some blind spots that I don't realize I even have in starting my own business.
It may be different products, different businesses, different services, but we're all traveling the same path. And it's great to know that we all have this sense of community and we're all working together to better ourselves.
It's a program that we get to learn different type of business things like marketing, finance, just a whole bunch of different things related to your business. Or if you need to learn something specific, you can tell them and then they'll connect you. But to me, it was like a community, like a club, like a group of people that I can talk to.
Economies that are diverse thrive. That includes industry diversity, size diversity, age of business. Like, for our economies to grow, we need to have a diversity of things represented. That also means we need a diversity of talent represented. When we have diversity in terms of our business landscape, we get to address new issues. The more diversity we have among the types of founders and types of experience founders have had, the more diversity we can have around the problems we address, which means there's more money to be made.
Business cannot grow properly without diversity. You need diversity within your business in order to reach out to different audiences.
But as we think about making it a really diverse and inclusive field of entrepreneurs and small business owners, one of the things that often comes up is there's just a huge gap between what we're seeing Black businesses do, Latino-owned businesses do in terms of revenue, sales, employee numbers, in comparison to their white peers. We're now expanding statewide. And what that means is, one, we get to work in concert with all the other entrepreneur centers across the state and colleges and small business development centers who are working to produce startups and small businesses. A more connected and collaborative entrepreneurial and capital ecosystem means entrepreneurs can get to what they need quicker. All founders of color who are building these insane, innovative companies all together, I think it's just going to enrich every single corner of the state.
Often when you start your business, there are so many different moving parts and pieces, and Twende actually allows you to pull back, see your business holistically, and see ways to advance your business overall. Twende provides a community of like-minded, ambitious founders, a sense of camaraderie when it comes to, starting your business and growing your business.
When we started the program, one of the things that drove us to start it was there was so much in the business world that was focused on minority-owned businesses, minority founders, that was really focused on kind of changing the founder. And one of the things that we've always believed in this program is that we want to be asset-based. So we're also focused on changing the system, changing the dialogue around founders of color, changing the representation of what does a successful founder in Tennessee look like. And I think all of that is going to have this kind of seismic impact on who is able to take that step and become an entrepreneur.
When I saw what the Nashville Entrepreneur Center was doing through the Twende program in Middle Tennessee, I saw an incredible opportunity for entrepreneurs across our state to thrive. This year, we dedicated funding for Twende's expansion statewide to provide resources for minority founders in all Tennessee communities. I encourage entrepreneurs across the state to join Twende, take advantage of all they have to offer. I look forward to seeing their businesses grow.
As shown in the video, you can see that we have a unique approach that combines capital, connections, community, and coaching, also while elevating the entire state in an effort to make sure that we are maximizing the knowledge capital and social capital in each network. In addition to what we're hoping to create across the state, it is our goal to create an educational content that elevates entrepreneurs of color across the U.S., thinking about the systems that exist within entrepreneurship, startup culture, and innovation more broadly. Take a listen to a trailer for a podcast that we will be producing that is looking into the issues of diversity, inclusion, and entrepreneurial success within entrepreneurship. Despite the reputation for throwing out the playbook, entrepreneurship and innovative startups have been some of the slowest fields to reflect the diversity of the United States. At some of the most disruptive companies on the planet, most boardrooms and leadership teams, and even frontline workspaces look pretty similar to what those same spaces might have looked like 50 years ago. Mostly white, mostly male, mostly straight, mostly from Ivy League institutions, mostly from wealthy families. What's more, less than 3% of all venture capital in the U.S. goes to Black, Latinx, or woman-led companies. We know that great ideas are everywhere, but how can entrepreneurship accelerate its pace of change, become more inclusive, and ultimately be an avenue for more Americans to realize their dreams, grow their wealth, and have an impact on the innovation economy? I'm Brynn Plummer, Vice President of Equity, Inclusion, and Community at the Nashville Entrepreneur Center, and your host of the podcast, Twende, Stories of Entrepreneurial Success. This show is all about sharing the stories of incredible Black and Latinx founders, true change agents in the entrepreneurial world, and how they have overcome obstacles to success. Twende is Kiswahili for Let's Go. It's our rally cry here at the EC. It represents the vibrant passion and strategy of Nashville's entrepreneurs who continuously strive to grow their businesses. It's also the name of the EC's program dedicated to leveling the playing field for founders and entrepreneurs of color. The work we do at the EC is making great strides to increase the success rates of founders of color, but there's still so much more to be done. In each episode, we'll talk to successful founders and entrepreneurial innovators of color about the peaks and valleys of their journeys, illuminating the hurdles and opportunities that exist within the larger world of startups, venture capital, and business more broadly. One common hurdle we will discuss is a lack of access to resources, such as funding, networking, and mentorship. Because of the racial wealth gap in this country, Black and Latinx Americans have less capital in their own networks to invest in their businesses. They are also less likely to obtain credit, grow their businesses, and when they do, it is for smaller amounts and at higher interest rates. I promise you that the stories and solutions shared in each episode will be something you don't want to miss out on. So tune in to gain valuable insight and resources to help start, fund, and grow your venture as we work to make entrepreneurship accessible for all. We would like to extend a special thank you to the generous support of the David and Rebecca Clements family for making the podcast, Twende, Stories of Entrepreneurial Success, possible. And to keep up to date on all our new episodes, head to ec.co/podcasts. Make sure you follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. Thank you again to David and Rebecca Clements, who is here in the audience, David, for supporting the podcast. And thank you to Clark Buckner and Relationary Marketing for the production there. I'm going to bring up our second to last speaker, Joseph Cole, who you saw in the video. Joseph, would you mind coming to the stage?
Hello, everyone. I'm Joseph Cole, and you saw a bit of my experience in the program in the earlier video. I'm here to invite you to join me and other founders in this invaluable program. If you are a CEO or Black or Latinx founder of an existing business that's scaling operations, please come join us. We're a community of Tennessee businesses with an annual revenue of up to $75,000, and we're looking to grow. Please come join our new and valuable statewide network. Twende applications open today, September 22nd, and applications will close in a month, October 22nd, 2021. The program will eventually launch in November, so please visit the website, twende.co, that's www.twendetn.co for more information. Twende.
Thank you, Joseph. And just to reiterate what Joseph said, this is for someone who is scaling a business. So your business exists, and you're looking to take that business to the next level. Joseph, in the cohort, I feel like we often are talking about contracts and invoicing and how to make sure that you look bigger than you are, even if you're just a company of one. So thank you, Joseph. And I really do hope you all will join Joseph in the next cohort. If you're out there and thinking, is this for me? We would love to talk to you. To bring us home, I would just like to share some thank yous. First, thank you to everyone here in the audience. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being a part of the EC community. Thank you to the staff of the Nashville Entrepreneur Center. We are a small team. We are very cross-functional. I think we worked on every single functional team to pull off this event and to pull off this launch. So thank you to each and every one of you. I would like to send a special thank you to John Murdoch, who's in the audience, who was the first person who said, what if this was a year-long program? Which was something we thought about, but it had not been seen like a possibility until we said that that you said that to me in a check-in, and that's part of why we're here today. I would also like to thank Jane Allen for your leadership. Since coming to the EC, you've dramatically expanded the footprint of this center, in addition to elevating the voices and stories of the entrepreneurs who call this place home. Finally, I would like to thank Launch Tennessee. Launch Tennessee, as you might have heard throughout our speech today, is a statewide consortium that really seeks to elevate the entrepreneurs and startup centers across the state. Without them, we would not know what was happening in Johnson City. We wouldn't know what was happening in Memphis. We wouldn't know what was happening in Knoxville, let alone have the relationships to get on the phone immediately with someone in each of those contexts. Thank you to them for your support and for helping us make sure we scale this program effectively and inclusively across the state in rural and urban districts. Thank you to everyone who is going to take the leap to become an entrepreneur. It is not easy, it is lonely, it is confusing. It can also change your destiny and the destiny of your family and the communities you call your own. We hope you'll join us. TwendeTN.com is the place to go to find out more about joining the program, and we would love to help you grow on your journey. Thank you all for joining us, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.